This band recently celebrated the 1-year anniversary of their critically acclaimed debut album called Love, Drugs, and Misery. And to commemorate, they released a deluxe version of the album. I'm joined by frontwoman Eva. Holy cow, first year, and now you're touring with Bush. Eva from Eva Under Fire. How's it going?
It's crazy. As you mentioned, we are on tour, and I'm calling from the road. So it's been an incredible journey for sure. And pretty surreal just to be on tour with Bush and Bad Wolves.
And you just got off a couple of dates. You were touring with Taproot.
Yeah. So crazy how that all happens, right? We get very stir crazy when we're at home. Our management and our team knows not to leave us at home for too long because we'll start doing the other things, booking ourselves and whatever have you. So our hometown buddies in Taproot, they're also Michigan boys. They came back, did a couple of really cool dates, invited us to be part of them. So we did a couple of dates on their tour and then got offered the Bush tour. Well, then we thought, oh my goodness, we are from Detroit area. Bush is all the way in Florida. How are we going to get down there? And so Bad Wolves was like, well, why don't we just put some dates together, the two of us, we'll head on down to tour together. So it feels like it's three separate things, but it's all jumbled into one thing, which is probably why my family cannot even bother to keep up with me. My mom's like, where are you? I don't know.
Oh, but you've compared touring to camping, and you love it. Like you said, you don't want to. You don't want to be at home.
I do. Oh my gosh, it is. It's definitely an adventure, right? So for people that like the to vacation and luxury, this ain't it. This is not it. but for those people who are like, really love an adventure with their friends, and you can get out there and live out of the bag on the road. I mean, this is the best way to do it.
You're just celebrating the first year of your first album, and you're opening up for Bush. Bush is a huge band with an audience that's massive right out of the gates. Like, how long has Eva Under Fire been together?
It's got to be. We're coming up on our 7th or our 8th year. So we've got a very old school story. We've all been friends for a long time, grew up in the same downriver, metro Detroit area. We're all very affectionately downriver rats. And so we all grew up in these bar scenes together, playing in different bands and stuff. And then, fast forward a couple of years later, nobody's really doing much anymore. We all missed it, though. I ran into my buddy Chris and said, hey, you want to get together? So sure. And we immediately fell back in love. We thought, okay, we're going to try this one more time to go legit. And this time, man, we swung for the fences and it worked. Yeah, as you said, I mean, this is the 1-year anniversary. Just dropped the deluxe album to celebrate Love, Drugs, and Misery. The deluxe album's got some cool remixes and stuff on it. A couple songs nobody's heard from us before, and then we landed a Bush tour. I mean, it's icons, right? This is legendary stuff. I think so. Chris and Ed have known each other since they were very, very young, and they were all learning to play instruments together. I think one of the first songs they learned together was Bush. I believe it was Glycerin.
Oh, that's cool. And then, so this deluxe album, I love how you guys added War Pigs. There was an acoustic version of your big hit, Blow. And is that song, is that off a soundtrack?
So it's on the Retaliator soundtrack, yes. And it was so funny the way it worked out. Blow is a very angsty sort of a vibe, right? The lyrics are meant to be sort of sassy, but in a playful way. It's aggressive, but in a playful way. And so when they wanted it sort of the Retaliators movie, which is a horror film, I was like, I don't see how that visual was. In my mind, it didn't fit, right? And then we put together the treatment of the music video.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it made so much sense. And I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet. So I think it did work out pretty well. But yeah, everybody seems to love that hook, man.
I was watching the music video, and is one of the guys in your band is playing that dead guy that's singing along with you?
Yeah, so it was crazy because we actually filmed the video on the set of the movie, of the film.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, so it was really cool. We used all their props and stuff like that. So, I'm in the first scene with me and my bestie are going to the rock show, right? And then we kind of, very quintessentially get lost in the middle of the woods because I decided to take a shortcut and then all chaos breaks loose. But it was fun to do. We were all that was the band music video was the band from that first scene. So it was very cool. I performed my own stunts, which was fun. I got dragged out kicking and screaming into the woods when they murdered me in the film, which was interesting. And I'm a big chicken. I'm not a fan of horror films. So
really?
It was very, I was a big scaredy cat. So everybody had a great laugh when I told them that they wanted me to be in the film. But it was so much fun, and I found that there was a lot of overlap between the film world and the music industry. It's just, you know, a bunch of creatives that get together, and then everybody has a great time with it. So I think it worked out.
And did you find that you had to work hard at acting skills, like not cracking a smile when you're doing this? This isn't your first music video, though, right?
No, it's not our first music video, and that's where I say I think there's a lot of overlap there, because we've done music videos before, and there's been other things like, for example, we had a song called Misery, and you know, there was a storyline, and so I got cheated on. That's why in Misery, right, this guy that I was seeing is going to be forever in misery without me, of course. So it was not my first acting gig in that regard, you know, first professional acting gig for sure. But it wasn't hard for me. I think that does come a little naturally. I was a theater nerd as a kid, you know, so I've always liked the performance aspect. And the people who did the film were really cognizant of the fact that, like, I'm not great at embodying characters that are not authentically something I can pull from. So they didn't ask me to be anybody that I didn't feel that I could play well. So I think that helped a lot.
Right. It's awesome that you're touring with Bush, but again, this isn't the first time you've traveled with a big band. You were opening up for Buckcherry right out of the pandemic, and that was before your first album came out.
Yes. So obviously, pandemic world threw everyone for a loop. No one knew what to do. So we said, look, we're going to go get vaccinated, and then we're going to go to work. That's the plan. As soon as work became available, it was the Buckcherry tour. And, you know, everybody was super careful, very conscientious. You know, I mean, the thing is that the world's not safe, and we didn't expect it to be, right?
Right.
We were just careful about it. Like, so we just went to big rock shows, and what we saw was, once everyone had experienced this forced separation, right, they were so happy to be back. Everyone was so happy to be back. It was an incredible, I'm so grateful for that experience and getting out there early, and to Buckcherry too, because they're amazing people. We still keep in touch with their drummer, Francis. He's a great guy. So he was even telling us, he's like, I need you guys to know that they're going to write books about this craziness right now. He's like, there's meaning to being some of the first ones back. There's meaning to be, this is frontier world, you know? Mm-hmm. I really hadn't recognized the gravity of that until he explained it that way, and then it made a lot of sense to me. But I could see it. And we very publicly from the stage thanked people for being there and we have a song called The Strong, as you probably know. Mm-hmm. And I would dedicate that to the audience every night, because they were strong for what they came through and for being at the rock show. It was at the time a pretty brave thing. Some people would have called it like a callous thing or you know, a lot of the judgment was going around about that. But they needed people. They needed their tribe back. And I felt like we could do that and to be part of it so early on was so important.
Yeah, we went to a few shows. One of them was Pearl Jam, and I remember when they played live, everyone we were standing around, and us included, we were bawling just to be together and happy. If you were able to get to a show right when the pandemic was ending, it was really something.
Yeah, it's powerful, right? Totally. Yeah. We felt that too, for sure.
So big kudos to you for getting out there and doing that for people, because I don't know what it would have been like on stage, but being in the crowd, it was so emotional. And having a song like that you can dedicate to the fans is so, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
Yeah, it was pretty powerful stuff, man. And truth be told, I mean, I don't want to say that it was all altruistic. I mean, we needed it too, you know. Mm-hmm. We were tired. We didn't want to be at home. It felt like we were offered one of the biggest opportunities. We've been working so hard for this for so long to land a major label record deal and finally release an album in the professional market, and the world shut down. You know, I mean, we've been grinding, like I said, for years, and then everything just sort of like gone, right? So finally, when we could. We did, you know, as safely and as cautiously as we could, but we absolutely did. You know, now it's just all like some giant nightmare nobody wants to remember. I think that's powerful too. I think that's good too. We're back. We're in full swing. Everybody's feeling great. I mean, all of this is picking up energy, picking up steam as we've always wanted it to. We're getting more and more shows. We're getting bigger and bigger shows. I mean, these are some of the biggest stages that we've stepped on. But as you stated, we've been on tour with, right now I'm wearing my Skillet t-shirt, my hoodie. I'm sorry, it's definitely hoodie weather. But we toured with them here in the States, and then they took us over to Europe, which was incredible. I mean, and those are some huge stages over there. And we've never heard all types of things about across the world. Fans are different, right? So now, on this tour, we get to come play for you guys. We get to come play to Canada.
Yeah, you've got 3 shows in Canada, but this whole tour, there's 15 shows. You're just heading from Florida right now. You said you're in a hoodie?
Yeah, so Florida was like 60 and rainy.
Oh, really? Oh.
It was kind of chilly and rainy. But, I can't complain. I'm from Michigan, right? There's no snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you're playing indoors, too. It's festival season's over, so.
Right. It's winter time, so I didn't really expect too much, but it was still interesting to see, like, palm trees, but, like, in the winter time, right? It was funny because we were on an off day. We walked into a Walmart, and at that particular day, it was kind of sunny. It was, like, 68, So, I just walked in with my little T-shirt, and I see that there's like a Christmas tree in the local Walmart. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's winter. I had 0 visual cues to remember that it was almost Christmas time.
You'll be wrapping up this tour just heading into Christmas. Like I said, you got 3 Canadian dates, Peterborough, Hamilton, and Vancouver, but you're everywhere from New York, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Washington. You're all over the place between here and there.
I've been very fortunate that many of the tours that we've been on are busy tours. Skillet tour is hard as well, but Bush tour is hard, man. We will cover a lot of ground this tour, for sure.
How are you covering the ground? Are you on a bus? Are you in a van? Like, how are you guys getting around?
We got a van and a trailer. My friends, we got a little U-Haul. There's a 5x8 back there. We got a 15-passenger van. We drive ourselves. Like I said, it's camping.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And thank you so much for taking the time with me. I know that you're going from place to place right now. You've got a show coming up tomorrow in Durham.
Yeah.
So, best of luck because you have a lot of dates left.
Thank you. Yep, we're just getting started. So make sure everybody come check it out. Definitely come out to them Canadian dates. I think it's going to be so dope. I want to see how Canada does rock music. There are a lot of rock bands over there.
Oh, yeah.
We toured with a couple of different bands who are from Canada and said that the rock seems pretty good, so I'm excited.
And there's a few tickets left for Eva On Fire. Those tour dates are listed on their website, and we'll post them here as well. Thank you so much, Eva, for taking the time with me.
Thank you, Dana. Take care.